I'm just going to ask each one if you can give us your name and job title, as well as the company you're with and how long you've been with the company. Whoever wants to start.
I'm Noel Nickerson with Fastenal Company. Been with the company for 8 years now. I'm the general manager.
My name is Quiana Peterson. I'm from Lake County Schools. I am the recruiter for the district, and I've been with Lake County Schools for roughly a little over 5 years.
I'm Erika Greene with Lake County Economic Development. I've been with the county for over 7 years, and I'm the workforce person.
And I'm Gentry with Cherry Lake in Groveland. I am Director of Marketing and Organizational Development, and I've been with the company for 16 years.
So can you describe your career path, if this was sort of what you went to school for? Was there a particular degree program that you completed? Were you involved in internships or other extracurricular activities while you were in school? Just can you each kind of talk about that?
Start here?
Sure.
Okay. I was a general contractor since '99 till 2011, and then the market crashed on me, so I had to find other resources, and actually found my job here at a job fair. Really liked it, and just as far as prerequisitions, I didn't really need anything for it. just learned the business and got into it. So it's sales is the main position. Yeah.
I was actually an art major. I thought I was going to draw for the rest of my life. And somewhere around my sophomore year of college, I was like, I like drawing, but I'm not really sure that that's the career path that is right for me. I started doing temp work for a staffing company, which exposed me to a lot of different industries and different short-term assignments. I ended up doing a temp assignment in human resources, hiring firefighters for the city of Oakland, and I thought, what is this? I had never even thought about HR, had no idea what it entailed. I fell in love with it, switched my major, and finished out my degree in human resources.
So I started in psychology. That was my bachelor's degree. I thought I wanted to be an animal behaviorist, and instead of the animals in the forest, I moved to the animals on the concrete. And I love working with people, and I went forward and I have now my master's in public administration. So that allows me to be pretty flexible. I work with the government now, Lake County, and I've always loved serving with public and through the government entities more than I enjoy working for that private company. And it's been a wide array. There's so many opportunities. I'm sure we'll talk more about that. Within a county opportunity, you are the whole area wide, from the top directors down to people coming in and learning skills and transitioning and growing on the job and building their educational path.
Okay, so I grew up in Lake County, and I grew up around Cherry Lake. Cherry Lake is part of my family's business, and it's a tree farm. It's agriculture, and that was what I had the impression of Cherry Lake when I went off to college. I didn't realize how much opportunity there was outside of agriculture inside the company. And so growing up in Claremont, small town Claremont back in the day, I wanted to travel the world, and I wanted to see other things and leave Lake County. I went to school in Boston. I got a BA in psychology and economics, and then I went on to get a master's in corporate finance. I had the intention to be a financial auditor, and I also had some interest in marketing, and I came to Cherry Lake I did internships there, and then I took a job right out of my master's thinking, well, I'll do this to get some money until I find my real job. And I ended up staying because the opportunities were really interesting. I was enjoying what I was doing. I was working in marketing as a marketing coordinator, and I was enjoying it more than what I could see the other positions I was applying for were going to offer. So I didn't mean to end up working for Cherry Lake or for an ag business, and I don't, work in the horticultural side of things, but my education has really allowed me to work in multiple areas of the company, which have always been interesting. I've worked in, I started in marketing, And then I went on to the purchasing department. I was purchasing material from other growers to resell it, so a kind of a brokering division that the company has, working a lot with the sales team. And then I moved back into marketing, and since then marketing and organizational development, which encompasses HR, have merged, so I oversee both of those departments.
So that's a great segue. Thank you. What industry category would you say your company falls under? And what type of, I guess, job responsibilities does your position have? So I know you mentioned, Chloe, Cherry Lake is an agriculture industry. Does it fall under any other categories as far as industry? Not career field, but industry.
Yeah, so Cherry Lake, when we fill out the boxes to go to career fairs and different trade organizations, we fall under agriculture and construction, and that's because what we consider ourselves as a landscape company. We're vertically integrated. We have 1,800 acres of tree farming, so we're horticulture. We're growing trees, very ag-based. But we take it all the way to the construction, where we have teams that install the trees on new projects in Central Florida. So we're working with general contractors, bidding on big jobs like Disney Springs was a job that we recently completed, where we install the trees on new construction projects. So we're going to both of those. But I also believe that we're somewhat of a manufacturing company, because our tree farm is so large that we have to look at it somewhat like a factory, because we produce trees in the greenhouse all the way to 10-year-old trees that are in containerized pots that go out to the market for construction. So we have a very process-oriented industrial machine growing these trees. We just don't have a factory. We have a beautiful outdoor location, but so I would consider we really have those three industries: agriculture, construction, and somewhat manufacturing.
So with the county, we're government, but when you think about it, we're not selling anything, but we're providing services. So we have our sheriff, we have EMS, we have drafters, we have budget, people overseeing budget. So there's like wide array of career opportunities, yet we are, I guess, really public government.
And obviously we're a K through 12 school system, although some of that does encompass Lake Tech, which is outside of grade 12. A lot of times people don't think of a school system, but it is local government. And the other categories that can be considered, because obviously we have 6,000 employees and they're not all teachers. Actually, exactly half of our workforce is divided into transportation, bus drivers, marketing, finance, operations, security, and so forth.
So we are an industrial supply company, so we supply anything and everything from nuts and bolts to toilet paper and everything in between. So we will service the contractors at their job site, manufacturing facilities at their facilities. We go to them and we bring it to them, so they don't have to go out in front of Home Depot and do all the sourcing themselves.
So what type of job responsibilities does your position have? What type of departments? And I think you guys touched upon it a little bit. And just what type of career fields are within your organization? So if you want to continue
mine would
on.
be sales. It's pretty much sales oriented. You have a customer base, typically around 100 customers that you're going out and calling on. Everybody's got their own schedule with the day of the week and that time, and you meet with them, find out all their needs, deliver it to them. It's fast paced and it's fun. It's good.
Our clientele are the students in the county and the parents, as well as community stakeholders. Specifically, my position requires human resources, employment law experience, and then nowadays HR has really shifted from very face-to-face to heavy online. So it is more recruitment marketing now than just kind of what people think of traditional face-to-face recruiting. And then within HR, we also have our investigators and our HR specialists. So I like to say we're like the mama of the district. We bring them in, manage them while they're here, and sometimes we help people as they exit.
So as the Associate Director of Workforce, my primary reach is to businesses and to our educational partners. So looking to make the connections, looking to educate the community as far as what are the needs, what are the new trends, how are our businesses dealing, where are their challenges. I'm in making those connections, but being part of the government as a whole, I'm also just somebody, when you're out, they ask a question and I make that connection with the myriad of resources and departments that are within the county. So there's a lot of opportunities. There's not just one box.
So I'm the Director of Marketing and Organizational Development. We say OD is our acronym. So I manage our HR team and our marketing team, and I consider organizational development is the intersection of both of those teams. Organizational development is about looking at our employees and looking at their career growth and how to plan out their careers, making sure that they're finding work-life integration and that they're satisfied and that we're meeting their needs as an employer, and that we can make sure that our employees are motivated and fulfilled so that they can bring their best self to work. So that's the intersection of marketing and OD and how I see it, marketing and HR. But then marketing is very specific. We're communicating with our customers through email campaigns, through web design. When we manage our websites, we actually manage about 7 different websites that we all create. We create them in-house, manage them in-house. And really marketing's gone digital. We have very little print left anymore, and we also consider marketing our culture and what experience our customers are going to have when they come work with Cherry Lake, a big part of it. So our social media and just finding video content, podcasts, and becoming creating a connection with our customers that's not just about what product we're bringing to market, but the experience they can have and the knowledge that we can bring to them. And then the HR side is a lot of benefits and rules, federal and state rules that we're trying to keep in line, and recruiting and things like that. So there's a big array of different interests to be met in where I stand. And then within my organization, we're large. We employ 450 people, and our jobs are really diverse because we have really scientific port-based positions in our tree farm. Also very engineering focused with our irrigation systems are pretty sophisticated at the farm, but also on our job sites. So we have some very technical engineering, science-based positions, but then we also have very just processing, manufacturing, management type of jobs. Our foremen and our project managers on job sites, they're managing crews, they're managing a project with deadlines, with inputs. They have to purchase pipes and trees, and they have to meet a budget of what we bid the job for. So there's a lot of numerical, a lot of numbers and just people management, making sure we have standards for efficiencies on how the work rate of our workers, how quickly they install things, but also how efficient we are in getting all our materials to one spot, sourcing. And then we have just the jobs that probably any company has, IT. We have a team of 4 people. They create apps for our people to be able to input data from the field. We just did an ERP implementation. We have accounting, payroll, marketing, HR. It's a large organization with roles, administrative roles everywhere.
So what skills and experience do you recommend for someone who would like to pursue what you guys are doing? And how can a student build on those skills? So what does it really take to do HR, to do sales, or to do marketing?
For me, sales is definitely organization, follow through, do what you say you're going to do. Organization is key, though. If you don't have that, you're not going to get it. That's about it for sales skills for me.
I think for human resources, obviously people automatically think of the people skills, the soft skills, obviously being able to talk to people and communicate. But I think as you guys are starting to see a trend, especially with some of those of us that are in human resources, it is very much digital now, so you do have to have skills to be able to kind of navigate through the digital landscape that is today with all the noise that's going on, whether it be recruitment campaigns that we're doing on social media now. I constantly pick up skills from webinars for marketing. That's actually more marketing that now kind of bleeds into human resources. Being able to pick those up is actually a lot easier than you think. There are a lot of online free webinars that I get invites to. I stay connected to a lot of human resource groups that you can look up. You can find them, a lot of them just on Google, and kind of plug in. You don't have to really be associated with any type of organization to pick those skills up. And then honestly, good old temping. A lot of people kind of discount that, but there are still staffing agencies around. I know there are staffing agencies here in Lake County, and especially for someone that wants to kind of pick up a multitude of different kind of experiences to fill it out, I think that's still actually a really good option for people to try out without having to be committed for more than a few weeks, just to be able to kind of test out an industry.
I think that there's such a wide array of opportunities if you're looking at a government, whether they're small or large. But I believe there are the basic skills. Being able to present yourself, being prepared. Whatever that job is you're going into, be prepared, understand your resume, understand that business. And that way you're able to show that you are motivated and that you are engaged and you're actually excited about this job. You're not just doing it because you need to get a job. And then once you're there, be open to asking questions, being mentored, looking to do different things on the job that will help you expand and show that you want to grow and you're actually engaged. You're not just there because it's Friday comes and you want to get your check. And I think there's so many things that you can't. I did not graduate and they told me exactly how to be a workforce person. What am I going to do? I had to learn the skills as I grew in my jobs. I had to be engaged. And then you start doing that self-exploration of, does this fit for me? If this isn't a good fit in this role, are there other roles within this company that I can show I have experience, I care about the company, if this doesn't feel quite right, how can I grow here? And I just, as someone who's working with a lot of businesses, it's soft skills. We keep saying it until we're beating it to death. Come to work on time, be dressed the right way, have a decent attitude. We all have cruddy days, but you know what I'm saying? You are there to benefit them. They are not there to benefit you. And the more you do that, I think that that will just get you excited and help you grow in the jobs and or realize it's just not a good fit, and that's okay too. I'm a lot older than all of you here, and I've had a few jobs because I kind of had to figure out what was the right fit. And I also learned different attitudes, different behaviors, and different skills. And it sounds like old hat, but to me, people will hire you whether you have that degree, unless it's required as a doctor, if they think your attitude is right and they know you can learn. I just think that's what I see with the businesses.
I agree.
Very much. So for the positions that I hold in marketing, because we do our marketing in-house, it's not just project management of marketing that you outsource to other companies. We do it in-house, so it's technical. We want people who know the Adobe Suite, the InDesign, Photoshop, Premiere. Those are the tools to create, and then WordPress is what we use for our websites. Now, that doesn't mean you need to know it before you can get employed. We actually often bring in entry-level coordinators where we invest in training them on those programs. So what we're mostly looking for is that an individual who's somewhat committed, because we're going to invest in that person to train them on these technical programs. But also, we just want to see a business sense in that person, that they're able to reason and solve problems in a logical, business-oriented way. And that's something that we screen a lot for in our interviews. Is we don't expect you, especially at entry-level positions or coming out of college, to know the answers to our questions. But what we want to see is how do you talk through them. We don't want to just hear you say, no, I don't know. We want you to make an educated guess. Walk us through how you would problem solve on the job if a question came up and you didn't know the answer. And also, very much, we screen a lot for learning styles. We really value self-learners. It's hard to commit to being present to teach every single technical or even business idea, so we really wanted to learn and know how our applicants learn. Are they, gonna go out and research it online, go look up webinars, and give us somewhat of confidence that they'll take initiative to learn and not just come with the assets they have and be stagnant. Because we really believe that you can learn the technical. It's the attitude and the business solution oriented mindset that we're looking for. And then in HR, we on that side of the coin, we also often hire entry-level HR where there's a lot of learning of the laws and regulations, and it's pretty important because, we could, get sued over it, or we could have fines from the Department of Labor over, a mistake that's just an honest mistake. So it's a lot of detail orientation, and just, reading laws and taking notes, because there's a lot of routine. Once you know it, it's a routine process.
Well, Ann and I do a lot of resume critiques. Resume projects are really big in a lot of the classrooms. So what do you guys look for on a resume? So when you are screening and looking at applicants, what is something that you look for, not just on the resume, but also like during the interview, just hiring someone in the organization or someone interested in coming into your organization? What are those things you try to screen for or look for? I know you touched upon it a little bit with the skills, but is there anything in particular you look for on a resume or during the interview?
Definitely someone that's looking for a career, not a job, not just to fill a time spot in the week. Somebody that's definitely organized, and what motivates them. Where do they see themselves 10 years from now? Future aspirations, all that comes into play.
I see a variety of resumes depending on whether we're hiring for a traditional teacher in core subject, math, science, English, or sometimes we hire teachers that are engineers, digital design, private sector coming into teaching to teach those skills to our students. And so what I would say is almost nowadays you can almost find a template on anything, and I'm still amazed at how many people don't Google templates for roles. In teaching positions, it's heavy education, so unlike sometimes private sector and the true traditional teaching positions, we look immediately for the qualifications that make you eligible, which would be your degree, major in college, and then in the non-traditional teacher roles, I'm really looking for why this person wants to work with students. What I will say is consistent over all those teaching assignments, and one thing that I appreciate when I see on a resume is bullets that are tied to achievements and results and tasks. So a lot of times I see a resume that has just like a lot of sentences or just a short amount of sentence. I would assume that in your sales you made phone calls, right? But a really effective bullet would be I made 300 phone calls a day, which resulted in 2% increase in revenue for the company. So really paying attention to the type of position you're applying to and tailoring your resume specifically to that position, and then giving me tasks and results tied to whatever you achieved in that role.
That's well said. I think what I really add to that is don't put something on your resume. I'm going ahead of this question, but don't put it on there unless you've actually done it. Don't put it on unless you can talk about it. Because it's great, it makes you, when we look at the resumes, we look at all of them, we've just hired some new people. We're comparing all of them, right, to each other, and we're trying to say what are the strengths we're looking for. So when we've narrowed it down to the 3 people we're going to interview, you are there because you've said you know these things. You've said that you have these skills, and you've shown consistency in your work life. So make sure your resume really reflects you, and be able to have additional stories and information to share beyond what you just also wrote on your resume. Because a lot of times we're looking to see, are you going to fit with us, right? So if we're interviewing you, we know these 3 candidates look good on paper, but now it's being the best you can be, and hopefully that's going to fit with the dynamic of the office, and that is really important.